Hey, Monty Craig here. I thought I'd give you a little tour of my computer rigs and the types of software I like to use for audio production and different things. The first one I've got up is Finale. I've been using Finale all the time that I've been teaching at Clemson for worksheets and songs. The first thing I have up, of course, is Girl from Ipanema. And we all know Girl from Ipanema in the real book is in the key of F, but if you go to Joe Beam and Stan Getz, you're going to see that you're going to hear that they play in the key of D flat. And one of the things I've really enjoyed doing over the past few years in jazz combo class is having the students play along with different versions of songs, and that might mean them playing 4 or 5 different keys in different arrangements. So I really enjoy that, and I use Finale for that. Okay, here's another example. Foggy Day, Ella and Louie version. I love all their music, and I find that many of the kids that come into jazz combo class listen to those versions, and so this is really cool. Louie sings the verse and then plays the song in E flat, and then they transpose to key of C, and so Finale allows me to do this really. Okay, here's another example, Desafinato, another song that's in the key of F in the real book, and there are some versions of in F, but a lot of the original versions and the Charlie Bird, Stan Getz versions are in E flat, and so again it makes it really easy for me to transpose, and then if I need a trumpet part, all I have to do is key of F and I'm ready to go. This is an example of a worksheet that I've created for combo. This is the major scale number system. A lot of times I like to write scales and arpeggios without key signatures so they can see exactly what they're looking at and what they're going to have to play. So I've made literally thousands of these types of sheets, and again, a bass clef, treble clef, piano, all different types. Another one here's the altered scale. Another project that I'm working on, I play with the world famous drummer Jeff Sipe, and he's really into Indian stuff. He just got off tour with John McLaughlin last year, and so we're working on different T-high patterns to go into some jazz fusion songs. So here's an example of the T-highs. An arrangement of Mozart's piano sonatas for 2 guitars. Yes, and amazing he wasn't even 10 years old when he wrote that. So here's the new SoundForge that I've been using, and I've been doing a lot of editing, and this is a real world application that students, if they're ever going to get into the film business or TV business, are going to have to edit sound files and file them for cues. This is a online streaming radio station that I run, and what I'm doing is each one of these clips are ads for the radio
Stomping
station.
Grounds, Coffee House, and Wine Bar.
So I go in and do a little fade in, fade out, and just kind of touch up each one of these. And then what I do is I run some mastering software on it. I'm really a big fan of IK Multimedia. I've been using their T-Rack Max series. Really like this. The complete one. This is just an amazing compressor mastering software, so you can see already it beefs up the sound quite a bit.
Stomping Grounds, Coffee House, and Wine Bar. Mention this ad and get 10% off.
Here's one of my favorite programs, Band in the Box. This is the Ultra Pack. So here's Spring is here with the Bill Evans changes. This is great for students to practice with, and also it's a great tool for composing. You can just type the chords in and have all different types of styles. This is jazz, but there are hundreds and thousands of different styles that you can choose from. It'll even generate jazz solos. And oftentimes what I'll do is I'll generate WAV files from Band in the Box, and then I'll put it in my DAW and use that as tracks, combined with tracks that I create in Logic to make full songs with. I'll show some demonstrations of that, but this is a really great software program for people to use. Okay, I just want to go over a few more programs I use in my Windows computer. I'm not going to show them on the screen, but I have Real Band. That's an application that comes with Band in the Box that allows you to record your instruments into Band in the Box with the tracks that are playing. I tend to not use that since, like I said, my Windows computer is not a real powerful computer for doing a lot of multi-tracking. So what I tend to do is burn the audio tracks, and then I dump it onto my DAW here on the Mac, and they're networked together. I can do that really easy with file sharing. I also use Lander, which is a self-mastering program that's really cool. It's been out and it's really hip right now. It allows people to master their own music. I don't use it all the time, and sometimes I like to use Lander just to beef up individual tracks and then mix it again and master it later. So I really love that one. I use Transcribe, which is a really nice program for transcriptions. It has a piano scroll, and you can dump songs into it. You can slow and speed up songs without changing the pitch, and then you can also adjust songs by semitones and cents. It's a really cool transcription program. It's great for learning solos and learning songs. It's great. A lot of old songs might be at 444, and you can drop it into Transcribe and then bump it down 3-4 cents and play along with it right in 440 tuning. It's really cool. Another one I use is Spectral Layers Pro, another Magic's Sony software, which is really good at removing specific frequencies that you want to get rid of in 2-track stuff. Like say you have a band that's recorded their show in a bar, and there's clinking and people talking, and it's really great. You can remove quite a bit of sound with this and not degrade the audio quality. And also say the bass is too loud or the drums are too loud, you can almost turn the bass and drums down without being in a multi-track medium. It's a really awesome program. I have neck diagrams for all my guitar work. It's a really cool program for grids. Guitar players, we love our grids. I also have another transcription program, the Amazing Slow Downer. It's not quite as powerful as Transcribe, but it's also a really good option for transcriptions, and I recommend my students get one or the other of those for doing solo transcriptions. I have the Magic Audio Cleaning Lab, which is another thing like Spectral Layers. It's good for cleaning up vinyl and cassette tape type recordings. I also use Smart Score, which a free version of it comes with Finale, but I have the full version, and I love to use this program. It's a great music scanning software, and what I might get, I might have a book with a John Coltrane solo, for example, and I'll scan it in, put it into Smart Score, and then what it'll do, it'll convert it into a readable MIDI format that then I can dump into Finale and then create worksheets in all keys for all instruments and change the ranges and all that stuff once it's in Finale. So that's a really awesome program, and it works much better than the free version that comes with Finale. It's much more powerful and much more editable. And I also have a couple of DAWs that I use from time to time on my Windows computer. I have Reaper and Audacity. Audacity is a nice freeware, and it has a really great batch feature, which you can put in a whole lot of editing things, sort of like the commercials that I showed you. and do a big group batch editing with that. Reaper is a really nice DAW. For $69 you can buy the full version, and there's a lot of development around Reaper right now. It's sort of a good alternative to Ableton 10, and for people who are using Windows computers. It has a really cool time stretching functions and things that DJs and production guys use that I really like a lot. And I have my custom shop IK software here. I have the T-Rack Max, I have Amplitude, and other IK multimedia stuff. Okay, now moving over to the Mac. My preferred DAW is Logic. Since I'm a composer, I use a lot of the Apple loops, I use a lot of synthesizers and that type of stuff. But you can do everything that Pro Tools does. And I use the hotkey version of Pro Tools in Logic, so it makes going between the two very easily. So one of the projects I'm working on is doing drum loops. One thing that's really hot in the industry right now is drum loops for sale. Companies like Loop Loft, they're really offering these bundles where people can take a drum loop that's 2 minutes long and plug it into their DAW and write a song with it. So I'm working on building a catalog and a music library of drum loops using different drummers. So what I've been doing, my friend just came in one day, played for a couple of hours, and I'm going through the edits right now. So what I'll do is, like, each one of these is a drum jam. So I've already added some EQ to each individual track. A lot of times I go with a channel EQ in the beginning and do a little basic tune-up of each sound. Then I put a compressor. A lot of times I use, these are all in the box Apple programs, but I use a lot of third-party plugins too. Okay, for example, right here I have the hi-hats. I have a channel EQ open, doing a little hi-hat brightening, and then I have Apple compressor on. The Studio FET is really nice, but they have an Opto, vintage Opto, and different, the Platinum Digital is the default. They all sound really nice. And then if I need to, I'll put a limiter on that. And then sometimes even after that, I'll add in another channel EQ just to do some cleanup, surgical work if there's any kind of ringing. And for example, with the snare, I've got a channel EQ. And then I have the T-Rack plate reverb. This is really nice sounding. Let me solo this here. We're working on cleaning the snare up, so this is without the plate. Just adding a hair depth to it. It doesn't need a whole lot. It did need some EQ though. So what I'll do is I don't have any side chaining going on right now or buses, but what I would do is I would take each file here, and then I would, when I finish editing all these and breaking them down, I'm going to put them in a new session, and then that's when I'll run them through a drum bus and put some sidechain compression and extra EQ, maybe overall reverb, and maybe some delays and type stuff to really thicken it up and make it sounding pro ready for download. They can just download the WAV file, put it in their DAW, and start jamming to it. Give this a listen here. These are different things, starting with a shaker. I've already added some EQ and the like to these. I think I'm gonna go. I want to change this pad sound, but this is just what I'm using right now. Some little loops on top of that, melodic loops, a little two-step breakbeat rhythm, and then I put kind of like a Herbie Hancock fusion solo on top of it, a little piano solo that I played into the controller. obvious, but I always keep Spotify open. Anything that I do, especially when I'm working on my finished product and masters, I'll listen to songs in Spotify. I'll play a song, and then I'll play my song, and then I'll play another song in Spotify to see how it fits in the playlist. And that's a really important thing to do, is checking masters. So I do that all the time after I do a finished product. Okay, just to summarize here, like that last song, what I try to do is I try to write at least one song like that a day, different styles. Just imagine that Joe called me, he's working on a TV show, and he needs an up-tempo breakbeat song, or he needs a slow folk ballad, or whatever it is. I try to write everything I possibly can, whatever strikes my fancy in the moment. And I think it's really important for college students to be tuned into this. This is really the future, and it's really happening right now. People are making money writing music for television and film music. That's the hot topic in the industry that's being talked about right now. And it's just not enough to be a good jazz guitar player or a good saxophone player. You really have to have some type of production skills and marketing skills and business skills to get your stuff out there. And this is what I focus a lot on, and I try to emphasize this to my students as well. I want to thank you all for watching my video. I hope you can see how passionate I am about music production, all types of music, and I love teaching and sharing it with students and other people who are passionate about it as well. I'm going to send you off with a song that my mom wrote that we're producing to be licensed. And this one is cool because I'm using instruments from Logic, but I also took some recording from Band in the Box and then put the tracks in here.
There's a rooftop way up in the sky where I feel like a cloud drifting by. Don't break my bubble, I'm floating too high on my rooftop way up in the sky.